Hey nerds! So let's say you've got the following scenario. You have just added a brand new database to the CodeUp MySQL database server, and you want to make sure that all of the instructional staff, all of the past students, and all future students have access to this new database. Okay, so let's talk about what we can do to make sure that that's the case. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that all other users that are not root users have access to this. So our database name is called School Sample, and let's go ahead and just toss that on maybe a text editor. So you've already created this database. How do we give access to it to everybody? Well, we need to select the users and the host from mysql.users table. Let's see who we have here. MySQL user table. Okay, so we have all of these users here. This is staff, this is past students, and then we'll add the future students momentarily. So keep in mind that host looks good. So we need to add this to every user except for the system users here. So I'm going to grab all of our columns, paste them, and let's see. So we're going to just double check our user list and make sure we don't have those system users. So those system users would be MySQL session, root, etc. Root's going to have access to everything. So here's what we do. Our SQL syntax here is grant select on database name dot star. So we're saying grant read access on the new database all tables to, and then our syntax is going to be username at, so grant privileges on db.star, and we can dial in different tables if you want, to username at host. So that's our general pattern. So let's build this out. I'm going to use a whole bunch of extra cursors to add this out. So I'm going to say to all of these users at the wildcard. So we have the form string for the username, then the at symbol, and then string containing the wildcard. We're going to put our grant select on in front of all of these. Grant select on to, and I think this is right. Let's double check the syntax real quick. MySQL grant select to a schema. Grant privilege type on, we have that. To, we're not using a grant option. Okay, that looks good. So let's copy that, and we're going to go back to our terminal here, or our console, our SQL console. And I am apparently a read-only user right now. So this is a perfect example of showing you that you need to log in as a user with some elevated privileges. So my user with elevated privileges is not this read-only user, but this other user with root access. So let's set all of that up and run our query. So we're saying grant select privileges, that's read-only, on the new database you created, .star to say all tables on that database, to every one of our past students and current instructional staff. And then once that's all done, we need to write flush privileges, and that updates the privileges to be the new version. Okay, so now all of your Existing users have access to your new database, which begs the question, how do we make sure that new users have access to this database? Well, pull up the data science curriculum, change directories into the database directory, and what you're going to do is open up the create user script. So this create user script, we run this every time we have a new cohort of students. We follow the directions here to create new student users for the cohort. And adding this new database will make sure that brand new users get the right privileges. So it's called school sample. So school sample, I'm going to add that as a database name in this first list of databases here. So from here on out, any new cohorts that you create MySQL users for, that's in the wiki on how to do that, they're going to have access to this school sample database. And then from here, you add, commit, and push your changes to update the code base in GitHub. And presto changeo, easy peasy.